This is BoxingWave. I wanted to speak on a number of things in this video here. All right, I've been sick for the last few days. I wasn't really trying to do any videos until I got better. So part of me, part of my voice or whatever, I'm gonna speak as loud as I can. I'm not gonna have any background music or anything going on. This video is a response to Quentin Cassell on YouTube. He made a video the other day about skin color doesn't judge a fighter on how good a fighter is. And I agree with that statement. But then he went on and talked a number of things about Keith Thurman and comparison to Floyd Mayweather, and how people say that Floyd Mayweather doesn't fight black fighters, and then I also want to respond to a number, like it's been a lot of, this video here is strictly for the YTBC because it's been a lot of Keith Thurman talk lately, a lot of interviews with Keith Thurman, and just in general. I know Carcina made a video recently about Keith Thurman, and I see what people are saying in the comments, and I'm reading it. I respond to make comments, and people respond to those comments. And there's a lot of false misconceptions about Keith Thurman and a number of things, other unrelated things. And I'm going to speak about all of those things. So this video might be a little long. I'm just going to talk and get some points out there first. Now, as far as Quentin Cassell, I like Quentin. He has a YouTube channel. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel, and also check out Zone 6 channel, okay? Because they've been the three of us been kind of going back and forth in the comments under his video that he made about color of your skin and skills. Now, I agree with that statement. All right, the color of skin doesn't determine how good a fighter is, okay? But what Quentin said and what other people said in the comments, I think we all agreed that black fighters are naturally more athletic, okay? For the most part, not in every situation. I think most people could agree when it comes to most sports, black athletes are more athletic than most other races out there. Doesn't mean they're more skilled, okay? It doesn't mean that at all. I would say for the most part that Hispanic, Latino fighters there's more great Hispanic Latino fighters. I think black fighters are up there, but Hispanic Latinos run the sport, okay? Now, as far as the statement that he made and what he said in the video, the reason why people like me and other people, other fans, say they want to see Floyd Mayweather fight black fighters, okay? I've said that. I say that for a stylistic reason, not because of skill set, okay? If I were to say black fighters are more skilled than Hispanic or Latino fighters, that is a racist thing to say, because that's definitely not true. Because whether black and slick fighters lose to Hispanic fighters all the time, okay? Canelo recently beat Lara. I don't think Canelo won the fight, but he officially won the fight, and a lot of people believe that Canelo earned his win, all right? And there's no argument there, all right? I made videos about that. Black slick fighters are not the most skilled fighters. There's a style to fit every style of boxing. Skilled, very slick fighters lose to guys that bring the pressure to them all the time. The reason why I want to see Floyd fight these type of fighters, black slick fighters, not black fighters, because Shane Mosley is not a slick fighter, okay? He's not a slick fighter. James Kirkland is not a slick fighter, okay? I said that in the comments. James Kirkland fights like Alfredo Angulo, okay? There's a lot of Hispanic fighters that fight like Alfredo Angulo. It's not too many black fighters that fight like James Kirkland. there's a lot of black, when we think of slick fighters in the welterweight, or the junior middleweight division, we think of Andrade, we think of the Charlo twins, we think of Lara, we think of, you could throw Tim Bradley in there at times. You could think of Devin Alexander. That's what I mean. Like, I want to see Floyd fight those type of fighters, Floyd hasn't fought that type of fighter since Zab Judah. So when I say that, I'm not being racist. I'm just saying I want to see a different style of fighters. There's not a lot of white slick fighters. There's not a lot of Hispanic slick fighters in those divisions. There's some that has Canelo has a little bit of it. He doesn't fight like a Maidana or a Guerrero, but he's not exactly like a Lara. You see the difference between their styles in that fight. Okay, that's what we mean when people say they want to see Floyd fight black fighters. Okay, I want to say Floyd fight black slick fighters. Okay, not fighters that are coming in with the same game plan. All of these Hispanic fighters that he's fought, even Ricky Hatton, who's not a Hispanic fighter, they came with the same game plan of being aggressive. When is Floyd going to fight a fighter that is going to try to outbox him? The only person that Floyd has fought recently that tried to outbox him was Canelo Alvarez, which is a very respectable opponent, in my opinion, because I never thought Floyd would fight Canelo. Okay, I didn't think he would take that fight. I knew if he did, I figured he would win, but I thought that was a dangerous fight because I thought Canelo was going to pressure him, but he didn't. Canelo actually went in there and tried to outbox him. He came with a different approach. Instead of coming there like Guerrero and De La Hoya and Cotto and Maidana, okay, most fighters try to pressure him. Not many of them actually try to outbox him, okay? Marquez did, Canelo did, and Zab Judah tried to outbox him. Everybody else just try to be aggressive towards Floyd. So that's what it means when people say that. I don't think it's a racist thing. It would be racist if you thought black fighters overall were superior to another race because the fact that they're black, which is, you can throw the athleticism in there, but not every black fighter is very athletic. Bernard Hopkins is not athletic. He's highly skilled, and he's black, but he's not athletic. I wouldn't consider him athletic. I consider Roy Jones to be athletic, okay, and skilled. Bernard Hopkins, I think he's highly skilled. I wouldn't consider him to be an athletic fighter. I wouldn't consider Marquez to be athletic, but I consider Pacquiao to be athletic, okay? So anyway, moving on from that. Now, as far as Keith Thurman, all right, there's a lot of false misconceptions when it comes to him. I personally like Keith Thurman, okay? I did a video a long time ago on here where I named like my top 5 favorite fighters or top 10. And in my top 5, I had Keith Thurman, and the list hasn't changed. I have Thurman, I have Lara, I have Floyd, I have Pacquiao, and of course, Miguel Cotto is my number 1. He's my number 1 favorite fighter, active fighter, okay? I like Keith Thurman a lot. Okay, when I watch Keith Thurman, I see a lot of skill. I see a lot of future in this kid's career. Win or lose, I see a lot in him. There's a lot of good boxers that the only flaw is their lack of punching power. Keith is one of those guys that has one punch knockout power, and he has the boxing ability. He has the footwork and the counter-punching ability, the speed and athleticism. He's a thinker in the ring. I don't think he's the best boxer, but he's improving with every fight. I noticed the improvements in his fights. Now, he's the number 1 guy in the WBC. The WBA, okay? Floyd holds a title, the WBA title. Now, me personally, I don't think Thurman can beat Floyd because he's going to be that guy that actually tries to outbox Floyd. And I don't think he's on Floyd's level when it comes to boxing ability. Okay. But Keith Thurman has an extreme puncher's chance against Floyd. Okay. He can land shots against Floyd. It's not act like Floyd would, you know, he could dominate him, but Thurman has a puncher's chance. Now, Floyd doesn't get credit for his chin. He has a great chin, okay? He barely got dropped by Zab Judah. You know, his glove touched the ground, but he wasn't hurt. Okay, the only time he was really hurt was against Shane Mosley, all right? He has a great chin, but Keith Thurman has a puncher's chance. I personally want to see Keith Thurman fight a Devin Alexander or a Kell Brook or, you know, there's maybe a couple guys, not Guerrero or Amir Khan. You know, I would like to see how Thurman would match up well against those fighters, preferably Devin Alexander. And I'm going to explain why. Devin Alexander is a slick black fighter that I haven't seen Thurman really fight a guy like him before on his level. Alexander is a former champion. Alexander has never been knocked out. He's lost, but he's never been knocked out. Okay, he's been dropped by Matisse. I don't know who else he's been dropped by, but Devin Alexander would be a good test. I think Thurman would win the fight, but I want to see how he would win. I would be impressed if Thurman was to knock Devin Alexander out because no one has ever done that before. I would be impressed if Thurman was to shut Devin Alexander out and outbox him. Okay, Thurman didn't knock Zavik out, but he was able to outbox him for 12 rounds. Okay, even though Berto stopped Zavik because of a cut, I was more impressed by Thurman's performance over Berto's performance against Zavik. Okay, even though the fight was stopped, I was just more impressed with Thurman because Thurman was just outboxing him, a guy that's never gone 12 rounds before. I believe Thurman never went 12 rounds before that. He was impressive to me. Okay, I'm impressed by Thurman, but I understand that from going from Soto Karass and Julio Diaz to Floyd Mayweather, that is a huge jump. Like, you just skipped the line of a lot of people. So I do understand. And when people say, like, you know, I know Zone 6 is a heavy, big time Keith Thurman fan. And when him and Q are going back, and I heard that argument on 78 Sports Channel. And for the most part, I agree with Zone over Q. Because people keep saying, who has Thurman beat? He hasn't beat guys on a world level yet. No, he hasn't, but it's the way that he's beaten the guys that he has fought. Okay? He beat Julio Diaz. Now, I know Julio Diaz is coming off of losses and stuff, but we're back to this discussion about losses here. Let's talk about losses, because losses is like, you know, when you have a loss, it means everything now. You know, it's like you're not allowed to lose anymore, okay? The culture of the sport is changing because you're just not allowed to lose. And you get criticized for losing to a whole nother level now. When you come off of losses, or when you had losses in your career and you came back and won, sometimes losses do make a difference, because if you're coming off of a dramatic knockout loss like Manny Pacquiao did against Marquez in their fourth fight, you want to set Pacquiao up with a Brandon Rios. There were people that thought Brandon Rios was going to win that fight because they just didn't know how Pacquiao was going to bounce back from that loss. So people thought Brandon Rios might pull the upset and beat Pacquiao because Pacquiao might not be the same no more. And he took a big break. You know, he didn't fight for over a year. So those are kind of losses that you're like a little sketchy about. And of course, he came back and dominated Rios, and he beat Tim Bradley in a rematch. So obviously, Manny Pacquiao is just fine. But guys like Jesus Soto Karass and Julio Diaz and Juan Zavic and who else did? Carlos Quintana. These are guys that Keith Thurman has fought and beaten, but they lost previously in their career. You know, it's not like they're coming off a loss and mentally they're not there anymore. Julio Diaz took losses. Okay? He's been a gatekeeper. Sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses. Okay? He was able to he lost to Sean Porter and he lost to Amir Khan. He dropped Amir Khan. Okay? He turned the fight around. Okay? Sean Porter, he was outboxing Sean Porter the second half of the first fight. And then even the second fight that Sean Porter won, it wasn't a dominant win. But when he fought Keith Thurman outboxed him for 3 rounds and then hurt him to a point where he couldn't come out of his corner after the 3rd round. Sean Porter didn't do that. Amir Khan didn't do that. Okay? Soto Karass, I mean, he's been knocked out before, you know. I mean, he lost to Maidana not too long ago. But, you know, he beat Berto. He was good enough to beat Berto and stop him. Okay? Berto never been knocked out before. You know, he brutally beat Andre Berto. I know Berto suffered an injury during the fight, but Soto Karass did what he had to do. Okay, Berto was a champion, top contender before. Carlos Quintana, you know, he's lost before, but it's not like, how do you, like, when you try to justify a reason, like, or you try to make somebody's wins mean like they are nothing, you can just about do that with every single fighter. You know? Maidana lost in his previous career. He lost to Amir Khan. He lost to Devin Alexander. Some people still say to me all the time, Floyd's fighting, having rematches against Devin Alexander's leftovers, Amir Khan's leftovers. You know how much I hear that? But it's okay for Floyd to have rematches against him. Now, me personally, I think Maidana is the most improved fighter in all of boxing. That's just my opinion. But he's lost. Maybe he won a few fights before he got to Floyd, but whoever thought that Marcos Maidana would be an opponent for Floyd Mayweather? You know, with his style, who would ever think that? And now, not only did he beat an undefeated Adrian Broner, but he arguably beat Floyd Mayweather. There's a lot of people that think Floyd lost to Maidana, or it was a draw, or Floyd barely won. Okay? What did Guerrero do to earn a match with Floyd? What did he do so great? Because Berto already lost before. Oh, yeah, he wasn't coming off of a loss because he beat Zavic. But just before that, he lost to Victor Ortiz. Now, Victor Ortiz, I would say, he was more deserving of the shot with Floyd because when he beat Berto was still undefeated. But what warranted a fight with Guerrero and Floyd? That was a huge mismatch to me. Like, why did Guerrero deserve a shot? If you're saying that Thurman doesn't deserve a shot, why did Guerrero deserve a shot? Berto wasn't a champ at the time, and he wasn't undefeated anymore. He just lost before his last fight. That just earns you a shot, especially when you're moving up from lightweight. He was just fighting. Guerrero was just fighting at lightweight. What did he do to earn a shot with Floyd Mayweather? There's no consistency with the opponents Floyd choose to fight. And it's okay. I'm not taking anything away. You know, I think Floyd is the most talented boxer in boxing. It's not like I'm biased, but when you make an argument that Thurman has fought no one, I mean, me personally, do I think he deserves a shot at Floyd right now? I mean, he deserves it, but I'm not saying there's not other fighters that deserve their shot with Floyd. There's other fighters at the welterweight division that has done more than what Keith Thurman has. But he is the WBA contender, top contender, the mandatory. He is, right? He did something to get there. Now, if you think he's overrated, that's your opinion. That's just your opinion. You know? There's other guys that are undefeated that has a lot of knockout power. There's Thurman. There's Golovkin. There's Kovalev. There's Deontay Wilder. Now, out of all of those four, I want to say I'm least impressed with Deontay Wilder. But that's just my opinion. I think his skill set is not on a level as the other three. That's just my opinion. I wouldn't say he's overrated. All I just want to do is say, all I can say is, I think I want to see him fight a more skilled opponent than the fighters that he's faced so far. All right? I thought Malik Scott was a step up, though. Malik Scott, I'm going to give him credit for Malik Scott because that was a step up. All right? It's not my fault that Malik Scott got knocked out in the first round, you know, whether you think the punch was real or not. But if you think Thurman is overrated, that's fine. But you can't say he doesn't deserve a shot. What has he done? There's no fighters that want to fight him. It's hard for him to get fights. It's hard for him to get fights. It's hard. No one wants to fight the man. No one wants to fight him. The Brook fight is not going to happen. Eddie Hearn is not going to let that happen. Because Brook has a chance to fighting Amir Khan at Wembley or Floyd Mayweather. It's not going to happen in December. It's not going to happen. It's too dangerous. Whether Brook wants to do it or not, it's too dangerous. If I was a manager, I would not let my fighter fight Keith Thurman. I wouldn't do it. Because I as a manager of any welterweight that's in the division right now, if I'm the manager, there's no fighter in the welterweight division that I will feel comfortable enough to put in the ring with Keith Thurman. There's no current successful guys that are coming off wins, guys that are champions or right there about to get their shot to be a champion. That's why he's not getting fights. Because the managers are thinking exactly how I would think as a manager. If I was Brook manager, I would not put him in the ring with Keith Thurman. If I was Guerrero manager, he's just coming off of a win against Kamagai. Last thing I want to do is let him get in the ring with Keith Thurman. Because he could either get outboxed for 12 rounds or he could get knocked out. Same thing with Devin Alexander. He could either get outboxed or he could get knocked out. Tim Bradley, even him. Not so sure if he can get outboxed, but he could get knocked out. Mir Khan, well, he has a glass shin. He could get knocked out any given moment. Pacquiao, He could get knocked out any given moment. He could outbox Keith maybe for 12 rounds. But the kid got dangerous power. Okay? I know it doesn't take much. I know Julio Diaz and these guys are just gatekeepers and stuff. But Keith is knocking them out. Sean Porter didn't knock out Diaz. Amir Khan didn't knock out Diaz. You saying to me that if Keith Thurman fought Julio Diaz before those two fighters fought him, where his confidence was up and he wasn't coming off of losses, that Keith Thurman wouldn't have knocked Julio Diaz out? Keith Thurman would have knocked Julio Diaz out 2 years ago. You guys, stop protecting your fighter. Stop protecting them. You're making these excuses. You got to stay consistent. You can say any argument. The guy is the kid. Well, he's not a prospect anymore. Keith Thurman is not a prospect. He's a contender. He's not a prospect anymore. But everybody on the come up, they're going to go through a phase where they have to fight guys like these. They have to. They have to. Keith Thurman is going to be one of those guys that it won't get a title shot until the sanctioning bodies orders the fight. He's not going to get. No one is voluntarily going to fight Keith Thurman. It's not going to happen. No one is going to do it. I don't think Keith Thurman is unbeatable. By the way, I do not think that Keith Thurman is unbeatable. Okay? If he were to fight Floyd, I think Floyd could beat him. I think Maidana is a dangerous fight for Keith Thurman. Okay? I think he's a very dangerous fight for Keith Thurman. I know you guys might think I'm crazy for saying that, but I think Maidana is dangerous for Keith Thurman. Okay? Now, if they were to fight, and I did a prediction video, I'm going for Keith Thurman. I think Keith Thurman will beat Marcus Maidana. But Maidana is dangerous for him. Okay? Keith Thurman is very vulnerable to the right hand. You know, and you know, we know Maidana likes to come over the top with that hand. And if he catch Thurman, it could be night-night for Thurman. You know, it could be. Okay? But the thing is, the difference between Thurman and Floyd, the way Floyd fought Maidana is Thurman is always on the move. Okay? When he fought Soto Karass and when he fought Zavit, guys that tried to pressure him, he kept moving. Okay? Thurman would keep moving against Maidana. He's not going to back himself purposely to the ropes because Floyd fights well off the ropes. He can do that. All right? He could smother. He could take that chance and smother Maidana's power by being on the inside. He can do that. Keith Thurman really doesn't have the skill to sit on the inside with Maidana. He knows his limits. It's a dangerous fight. All right? Dink Brook is a dangerous fight. All right? I said it on here. I said, I think when me and Beats were talking about it, when we was on here doing a video, I said that I think Brook is a much more dangerous fight for Thurman than Sean Porter was. Before they actually fought. You know, I always thought Brook was a dangerous fight because of that right hand. And he has the boxing skills. He can box. He can run with Keith Thurman. I mean, if they were to fight, I'm picking Keith Thurman, but I don't think, you know, that fight can go either way too. It's not like I think the kid is unbeatable. I'm just saying the kid deserves a shot at someone. There's a reason why these guys are not fighting him. You guys can't just say who has he fought to earn a fight with. This guy or this guy or this guy. Well, he's the #1 contender in the WBA. You know? Mandatory fights do take place. They happen. You know? Korobov, I was just making a video about that. Korobov is going to fight Peter Quillen. He's the #1 for the WBO. I respect the fight. I want to see Quillen fight Golovkin, you know, but I respect the fight with Korobov. I respect Golovkin's fight with Rubio. Okay, I don't think neither one can beat the champs, but I respect the fights. I'm not going to bash them for not fighting the other champions. Not in this particular situation, you know. Not going to bash them for it. I know what fights I want to see, you know, but sometimes we got to wait to get that happen, you know. I listen, I'm aware Floyd can't fight everybody. He can't. He can't. But if you're going to make the arguments about who has this fighter fought and who has this fighter fought, all right, well, let's look at the list of Floyd's opponents, okay? There's no way you can argue that Guerrero fight. You can't argue it. Because Guerrero wasn't on a high pedestal when he fought Floyd. He just wasn't. Beating Alberto was like, all right, you beat Berto and you get a shot at Floyd. Whether Berto is losing or whether he was undefeated or losing, it just got him a shot. It's just how it is, you know. All these guys that Floyd had fought and beaten, they've lost before. You know? I mean, some of them were undefeated, but some of them either lost in the past or some of them they weren't coming off of losses. But just because Floyd fights only guys that's only coming off of a loss or that's not coming off of a loss doesn't mean that they're great fighters. Just because Pacquiao fights guys that are coming off of a loss doesn't mean that who cares for the win. Okay? Pacquiao knocks out Hatton. Pacquiao knocks out, you know, all of these other guys. Miguel Cotto or whoever he fought that he beat that was coming off of a loss. Shane Mosley. It still counts, man. It counts. If Pacquiao's coming off of a loss, or fight somebody that's coming off of a loss and he beats them and he knocks them out, it still matters. You know, you guys with this coming off a loss, you know, the win still counts. Okay? The win still counts. If the guy is just way past his prime and they can't buy a win, that's different. You know? And you guys that compare Thurman to Berto, you know, I see you guys in the comments, man. All right, you know, you can argue that Berto was overrated. You know, I said on here myself that I thought I overrated Berto a little bit when he was coming up. Okay? I thought Berto was the next big thing until he fought Louis Collazo. When I saw in that fight, I said, oh, you know, I was like, oh, maybe he's not as good as I thought he was. Now, he went on to win some more fights. You know, he did beat Carlos Quintana. I believe he beat Quintana. I don't know if he had fought Paul Williams before I think Quintana fought Paul Williams before Berto got to it. But it's neither here or there. You know, when he lost to Victor Ortiz, it was a good fight. You know, it was a good fight. He was a champion. I believe he was the WBC champion at the time. But what I see in Keith Thurman is, I think Keith Thurman is a more skilled fighter than Berto. Okay? I think he's much more conditioned than Berto. I think defensively he's a better fighter than Berto. See, the thing is about Keith Thurman is he has a lot of punching power, but guys with punching power like him usually go in there and try to get their opponent out of there in a round, you know? Keith Thurman fights a smart fight. He waits till the knockout to come. He's smart. Berto, I can't say the same thing. I mean, I was just talking about him the other day. Berto will be the more skilled boxer, but he won't use his superior boxing abilities. You know, he's the type of guy that he reacts based off the crowd reaction. You know, he wants to outbrawl the brawler. And it doesn't work out for him when he does that. This is why he has losses. Okay? I think Thurman is a superior boxer between the two. Just about in every aspect. All right? We won't know. You know, we really won't know until Thurman gets the fights that he should get. Okay? But anyway, that concludes the video. You know, I just wanted to get that point, some of those points across. I think Keith Thurman is the truth. I think he's legit. I like his attitude. I like his boxing skills. He's not just a power puncher. I like his boxing skills, you know. There's things that he needs to work on, but he is improving. But let's not act like there's people avoiding him in the division. Okay? Let's not act like that. I don't want him to fight Floyd next. If he gets the fight, that's cool. But I would like to see him fight Devin Alexander first, okay? Or Tim Bradley or Amir Khan. All right? I would like those fights to happen first because I want to see him develop as a fighter before fighting the best. I don't want to see him against pressure fighters. I want to see him against other slick boxers. Just like I want to see Floyd fight other slick boxers. Okay? This is why I want the Lara fight. You know, you guys know me. I say I want Floyd to fight Lara. I want that fight to happen. I want to see how Floyd fights a Lara or Andrade or something. You know, I want to see those fights. It doesn't matter if you think Floyd would win. Why do you think the fight? My question is, okay, if you think Floyd will win, that's fine. I'm not saying I want to see the fight because I think Floyd will lose the fight. I just want to see a competitive fight. I want to see Floyd fight someone with a different style, a different game plan. Not go in there and just try to pressure Floyd. We see that for many, many years now. Let's see a fighter that has movement like him. That's a thinker like him that has good defensive skills too. Okay? I want to see those fights right there will determine Floyd's greatness. Not saying he is great. He is great. But I want to see a different variety. And Floyd chooses to stick to the same type of fighters. Okay? Skill-wise. Or style-wise. Not skill-wise, but style-wise. Okay? I want to see a difference. All right? So anyway, that concludes the video. I'm not going to talk for any longer. Leave your comments. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.